What's up, Raging Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching TF4 Talk. This is just a web series where we talk about Transformers Age of Extinction. This is episode number 26, and this episode marks the very final episode for TF4 Talk. We're in 2015 now. There's no longer any need to talk about Transformers Age of Extinction. Michael Bay has made quite an impression with his fourth installment into the franchise. He came with a grand entrance, and he left with an explosive Blu-ray release. Alright? So what I'm going to do and talk about here in this episode is a little bit of a recap with regards to the experience of Transformers Age of Extinction. Now what I mean by that is not just about the movies, but of course about the journey. The journey from day one all the way to its Blu-ray release. Now if you don't remember when all this talk started taking place, that would be 2012. September of 2012. Can you believe it? We're now in 2015 now, and the very first episode of my Transformers Age of Extinction talk videos. I forgot what I even call them. The TF4 edition. Yeah. The TF4 edition, the very first episode was back in September of 2012. Okay, and once they made that announcement that this movie was actually happening, things got very, very exciting. Okay, they mentioned that they were going to be filming in various parts of the world. I mean, well, specifically Texas and Chicago and Hong Kong and China. That made me very, very excited. And then what was the most exciting thing was actually the filming that took place in Hong Kong. All these people rushed out to see the Transformers live in person. And it was just a really amazing experience to know that, all these people were taking photos. Like, you just can't hide a production, a big budget movie production, from the citizens of Hong Kong. They got camera phones everywhere, and they're very nosy. And with all the explosions taking place and all the different car chases that were going on, you can't hide that. And it was all over the internet, and it was probably the most exciting 13 days of me being a fan of the Transformers live-action franchise. I mean, seeing all those updates from all those people of Hong Kong, all those fans of Hong Kong, was really, really exciting. And I just loved being able to report it to all you guys. I loved bringing that excitement and relaying all that information to you guys. It really created for a lot of really enthusiastic discussion, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing these videos, is because I love to generate discussion, and I love being interactive amongst like-minded fans. Alright, so that was really, really amazing. I know I've covered the production of Dark of the Moon before, but just having the coverage for Age of Extinction go on, that was even more exciting, mainly because we got to be even more and more we got even more and more information, because I think people trained themselves to get better at taking camera phone photos, or they knew exactly where the shooting was going to take place. I mean, when they were filming in Texas, we even got shots of that, even though it took place in a secluded farmland area, you know what I'm saying? So that was really, really awesome. And of course, quite a bit of filming took place in Detroit, and a lot of huge explosions came about. So that was really awesome. Okay, so the filming was an amazing experience. Even though you weren't physically there, it was still awesome to experience it on the internet. All right. Another thing that was really, really awesome was knowing about the announcements of all the different characters that we were going to end up getting, seeing all the different cars that were officially a preview to us, like for example the Corvette Stingray, the Lamborghini Aventador, and guessing all those characters. Who are they going to be? Alright, we didn't know right away who the Bugatti Veyron was going to be. Eventually they announced it as Drift, but we thought it was going to be a lot of other characters. We didn't know who was going to be the Lamborghini Aventador right away, but then later they announced it as a Lockdown, who's neither an Autobot or a Decepticon. So that was really exciting, and of course they announced the Dinobots. Excuse me. They announced the Dinobots, and of course then that's when we went crazy. There was no hiding it. They were going to have Dinobots. And that was, that was the the one thing that made us all go crazy. So we were all looking forward to that. All right. And then finally comes the release of the movie. They had the premiere in Hong Kong, which was awesome. It was quite a production to have a movie release in Hong Kong and have Imagine Dragons there and all the fireworks. That is quite a logistical, that's a big logistical production. Okay, to have something take place like that, and man, that was seeing it live in person felt like really being there. All right. And then the movie comes out, of course, in IMAX 3D, and I just got blown away. Not by how good the movie was, because the story really isn't that great, but how awesome it made me feel as a fan. As a fan of Transformers, I felt that while there are some things that could have been improved, I felt a lot of things were really quite awesome about this movie. You'll see, all the things that I really loved about this movie in my top 10 list of awesome things that I love about Transformers Age of Extinction. But a lot of things were really, really quite spectacular. Not just the action, but a lot of the Transformers elements that really did a fan service for the fans. For example, not just the inclusion of the Dinobots, but to have the Autobots act the way they act, to have a Lockdown, much more stronger and more unpredictable villain than all the other ones. Having Galvatron in there, having him be a truck, which is actually a pretty sweet truck. That was awesome. And of course, the Autobots reunited was just completely awesome. Okay, so the experience as a whole was really quite amazing. And another thing that I gotta mention is of course the toys. Okay, the toys. Some people are kind of split about how they feel about the toys. They're kind of on the fence with if they really think it was an awesome release. A lot of people really like the Dark of the Moon toys and Revenge of the Fallen. As for these toys, they were simplified, but still what I liked about them is the fact that we're getting some memorable characters that were translated into toy form. Sure, some of the toys aren't that great, but there's some that I really, really appreciate. For example, I actually like the Dinobots. I like the Dinobots a lot. I collected almost every version of the Dinobots for the main line, and there's going to be a lot of toys for me to talk about with the 2015 Transformer toy reviews that I'm going to be doing later on, very soon as a matter of fact. But one thing that you got to know about the toys is that I'm sure you guys already know is that it was a lot of repaints after repaints after repaints, and that was kind of unfortunate, but the repaints were actually pretty decent, especially the Takara repaints. I ended up getting a lot of versions of the same figure. I know it's kind of crazy, but I ended up doing it. Just because I felt that a lot of those versions were really, really good. For example, let's look at the Dinobots. I mean, you got the Dinobots Unleashed, you got the Black Knight versions, you got the G1 colored versions, and then, of course, you have the standard versions. And then some of the Takara versions I ended up getting just because I liked the versions the way the Takara versions were painted, and of course I picked up a couple of Takara exclusives. And so I gotta say that out of all the Transformers lines, I mean, I've bought toys for every single line. For example, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. But Age of Extinction is the only toy line that I've really invested myself into. I mean, because I really, really appreciated the movie enough to want to have the characters immortalized in plastic and own them. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you guys did the same thing, but I've bought all the toys. I bought a lot of the toys from the previous 3 films, but I gotta say that Age of Extinction really made an impression on me for the toys, because look at this closet; it's just filled with toys. Anyways, I just really wanted to share with you my experience with Transformers Age of Extinction from the very beginning to the very end. And it doesn't really seem to end just quite yet, because I still have to open the toys. It's ended in terms of I'm done buying the toys. The very last toy that I will be getting, which is coming in to my collection very soon, will be the Black Knight Strafe. That is the very last piece that's coming in. Okay, that's not true. There's the dual model kit of Optimus Prime, and that will be it. Then I'm done. Okay, no more Age of Extinction toys, because I'm pretty much satisfied with everything I ended up getting. That will mark the very end of my experience with Transformers Age of Extinction. But the very beginning started back in summer of 2012. All right, so it is it is an experience that really spanned for 2.5 years. All right, it was a 2.5-year experience, which I thought was a very positive experience, and I hope your experience with Transformers Age of Extinction was positive. I hope I contributed to some of that positivity from the journey to Age of Extinction with all the updates. I hope that you enjoyed all my videos. I hope that all the videos that I presented to you guys was entertaining, and also you know, if you liked it enough, I hope that you're sticking around longer to stay tuned for my updates for Transformers 5, along with some of my feedback about Robots in Disguise, as well as a lot of other things to talk about, such as the toys. And believe me, this year in 2015 is the year where I will be cracking open those toys and will be reviewing them, even though they are you know, very, very late. You know, some of these toys aren't even relevant to even review, but I still want to review them, and I want to share with you my opinion about them. Alright, so there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. This is the very last episode for TF4 Talk. The journey for Transformers Age of Extinction has finally come to an end, and a lot of the toy review videos that I will be doing will be covering the toys, but they won't be specifically just Age of Extinction toys. We're going to be talking about all kinds of toys, not just Transformers, but a lot of other action figures. So stay tuned. There's a lot to talk about. 2015 is going to be a huge year for the Raging Nation. 2014 was amazing, but 2015 is going to be even better. Okay, so there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Raging Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Raging Nation. My name is Alexi. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. One of them would be Christopher Nolan. All right, you don't even notice the aspect ratio changing, mainly because he does entire sequences